Am I in it?
Yeah, you're in it.
Can't see. Take my glasses off.
We're live, baby.
Are we live?
Yeah, we've been live for a minute.
We're Jennie and James. We started our van life journey living in our camper van, and now we build them full time.
Subscribe and follow along on our first build series, where we'll show you all the tips and tricks that we've learned along the way.
Hey everyone, we're on day 10 and James and I just went to get a little coffee, get in the mood. Basically today I'm working on our sunroof and James is going to be working on our upper cabinets. So we found this really cool Dometic sunroof and it was really hard to find. I searched all over the internet and I finally found one at this little RV shop in Alberta. So they sent it to us. You can actually get out onto the roof from it, so you can exit, check out like your roof or your solar panels or whatever you need. It also has options to have a shade go over, so if you are in the morning and you don't actually want all the sun on you, you can just pull the shade. And then it also has a fly screen, so we love that. The only thing we don't love is it came this like really gross RV cream color, so I'm working on it right now, just spray painting it black, like a flat black color, and yeah, I'll show you how it looks.
So for whatever reason, our skylight didn't come with the clips that are supposed to attach the inside bezel to the piece that screws into the roof, so we made do by cutting off a couple of these connection pieces and screwing them together at the end of the install.
And there they are. Nice and clean. It's gonna line up perfectly right in between these two ribs here, so we don't have to cut any out, which is super ideal. So I've already made a couple two pilot holes, and I've measured from the center rib, which is, just kind of looking from this, we can see our center one is here. So I dug out the foam just so I can find the absolute center there, because I really want it to look good. And then I've measured out to these points here, so that's our length, and then our width is honestly just perfectly in between these. Now that I've got my pilot holes in here, I'm gonna do a couple bigger ones and then I'll go up on the roof. I'm gonna map out the square that I'm cutting out, or the rectangle, and then I'll get the jigsaw and just cut a big hole in the roof.
Or I will. We'll see. So we don't really know what the sunroof hole is gonna be like, because it's the first time we've done a really big hole like this. So just to be precautious, we've got our floors prepped. Don't want to scratch these nice vinyl floors up, and then we've just laid down a piece of ply underneath just because it might come in with a big kerplunk. And then we've also got the shop vac ready because we might try to vacuum up the shards as we go, because the little shards do cause rust and we just want to be precautious. So we're gonna head up and cut a big hole in our roof.
It's a big hole.
So cool.
That's gonna give so much light.
Hey, I'm a little thirsty.
Do you wanna grab some water?
Oh, okay. Oh, here we go. Hello.
I'm about to put the caulking on, but what we've done first is we've put butyl tape all the way around the outside of our hole, just as our first precautionary measure. And you can see that the van has these ribs, or these ridges on top that kind of raise and lower. And since we're sitting on top of one of the ridges on either side, we're not in the dip, we don't want to cut these and press them down. So what we did instead was built up to the level of the highest point, I guess, with butyl tape. So we just did like 3 or 4 layers of butyl tape in all of these little valleys.
You can see there's like a bunch of layers of butyl tape.
Pressed it down nice and tight so it's nice and firm, no bubbles, no leaks. And now we're just gonna go around with some caulking, and then once that's got a nice bead all the way around, then we'll put this down, pop some screws in, probably do a little more caulking over top of that.
James mentioned before, we got our skylight from a secondhand kind of RV parts place. It was brand new, but it was missing the parts that would attach the top to the bottom. So because of that, we're just improvising and we're screwing it in from the top and from the bottom because we don't have that kind of quick connect piece. So that's what we're doing.
All right, so I've got the first piece on, got the butyl tape and the sealant squeezing out there. We made sure that the end with the hinges is at the front
so that when it opens up, it's not going to be opening up to the wind just in case we're driving or we forget to leave it open or anything. So it's going to open up and you come out the back this way. But next I'm just going to pop some screws along the edge.
We don't have footage of this next part, but next I attached the top lid just with a simple pin that slid into these slots here. The next part of the skylight we didn't install until we started the ceiling.
And now what we're going to do is just go on top of the roof and then trace it down from the skylight where we want to cut the hole, and then we'll take the piece of wood down, cut the hole, put it back up.
Nice. Just so you know you're in my time lapse.
So here you can see us putting the piece of plywood up for the ceiling, and then I get up on the roof so I can trace out the hole for the skylight, and then took it down to cut the hole and put it right back up. From there we had to finish our ceiling slats so that we could put the last piece of that skylight on.
Since it didn't have the clips that it was supposed to have, we just screwed the bezel into the other piece. And you can see that here. So we got one screw there, 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 and there. And so you can kind of see the two layers here. This is the bezel and then this is the outer piece.